Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the full stack development roadmap. And just so you know, I didn't plan any of this. It's like everything that I'm going to say is instantaneous, no bias intended. Okay, let's get into this straight away. Okay, keep a pen. Okay, so according to me, web development is split into two different parts, which is the front end. Okay, according to a lot of people, it's the same, and there is the back end. And now, the thing that connect both of these is called API. Don't worry, we'll explain all of this in our roadmap. Okay. So API. Okay. So there's a very nice example that I like to say it out in webinars and seminars, whatnot. The example is a restaurant, a biryani restaurant, where the customer is sitting at a table. Okay, so the customer is sitting at a table and he orders. Okay, what does he order? He orders a plate of biryani. Okay, now this order is received by who? The waiter, right? So this is the waiter wearing a suit and whatnot, tie with a hat. Okay, so this waiter will take that biryani. Okay, so one plate dum biryani, let's just say. Okay, and he converts it into what? He converts it into number one on the menu. Uh, Number one. Okay. Please forgive my handwriting; it's very bad. Okay. Number one on the menu, and gives it to who? The chef. Okay, in the kitchen. And what does the chef do? He prepares that biryani in his kitchen and gives this back to. Okay, so this is the request part, right? So the the customer requested the waiter to bring one dum biryani, and the waiter requested the kitchen to make one dum biryani. And now we are getting to the response part of this, which is the kitchen will respond to the waiter with a biryani, and the waiter will bring us the biryani. Okay, so this is how a website works overall, and web development is the building of this website itself. Okay, so now we'll take a look at this in a wider perspective. Okay, 1 second. Yes. So now in the front end, there is three main things that we need to take care of. Okay, what are these three main things? One is what text or what elements should we add? What do I mean by elements? I mean either links, okay, link to other website, or some image, some text, some video, some kind of data. Okay, you can call it some kind of data. Okay, you have some weird type of data. We don't care what type of data it is. Okay, then how do we style that data? Okay, how do we style? For example, see, this is in a different font and different color. This is in a different font and different color. All that kinds of styling will come here. And then we have some action. Okay, lights, camera, action. So these three are taken care by three different languages. I'll use another color. Okay, so these three different languages are very famous actually. It's HTML, CSS, and JS. Okay, now we'll abbreviate this for the people who do not know. Okay, hypertext markup language. This is essentially the bones. People call it the bones of the website, which basically means that it's not very stylish to look at. It's not, uh, you know, very pleasing, or it doesn't have any functionality either. Okay, bones don't move on themselves, right? So it's essentially that, but it does serve a function, which is showing that data to the user. Okay, so the data is shown to the user using HTML only. Okay, there are like very famous professors who have their portfolio just in HTML. I could show you, but it's just a waste of time. You can Google up. Okay, CSS stands for cascading style sheets, which is basically just adding color to your life. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember that advertisement. If you're old enough, you'll remember. So it's like just adding style and color to your your life, okay, to your website. Sorry for the bad joke. Okay, so JavaScript is the brains of the thing, right? So it's the brains of the website. So whatever functionality that your website gets, it gets from JavaScript. Okay, so and CSS is like the skin they call. Okay, skin, bones, and brain. Yeah, it's like just common terms. I am not making up any of this. It's already exists. Okay, now what is the roadmap in this, right? So you might ask. I'm just going over the concept also, so that you guys won't feel like you're listening to just random stuff. So the roadmap is that you have to first learn HTML, then CSS and JS. But I do have something different, which is learn HTML first. Okay, learn HTML completely. Again, you don't need to learn 100% of the language. You never understand 100% of the language, obviously. You just need to learn until a point where you're comfortable with the language. Okay, then jump to JavaScript. Okay, because CSS people are terrified of CSS. Man. That is very bad. Okay, from HTML, jump to JavaScript. From JavaScript, like get comfortable with JavaScript, and then come back to CSS. Okay, then learn CSS completely. If you don't really want to jump from HTML to CSS, you can just touch CSS here, go to JavaScript, and then come back. Okay, that is also fine. Works. Nobody is judging the order in which you learn. It's like it's better if you take your own time with it, play around, and try to figure out what suits you best and all this. Okay, so there is something else. I'll just leave a gap here. Okay, this will come for front end framework. Okay, this is like a very big topic. Okay, front end frameworks is a huge topic because every single day some or the other JavaScript library shows up. Okay, so we are not going to talk about this right now. We'll talk about it in the end. We'll now jump to not APIs but backend because backend is like the next logical thing to do. In this, the problem is uh, backend can be written in many languages. Okay, and frontend also can be written in different languages like XML, SAS, and you. I don't know if they use something else other than JavaScript. I never did. You can maybe. I don't know. I think there's one in Python. I don't remember. You can Google it up. Okay. So backend. Coming to backend, the thing is, it can be written in multiple languages. But the most famous one that I've heard of is JavaScript and Python. That's it. Okay. Now, in this also, you're given choice to choose something, and I recommend you to go with JavaScript because JavaScript is the language of the web, and everybody develops in JavaScript only. You can go with Python. That's also an option. That's a very famous option too. You're probably looking at frameworks like Django or Flask. Okay, Flask is like crazy good, totally recommended. One of my friend called Sriharsha recommended this to me, and I learned this in like one day. It's very simple. Like obviously Python syntax is very simple, so you will be benefited by that. So this is like very cool. Okay, now coming to the main thing, which is JavaScript. So JavaScript is the kind of language that can run only on a web browser. Okay, so we have to install something called as a runtime environment. Okay, runtime environment for JavaScript to run on our PC. Okay, it is meant to be ran on a web browser, but we're running it on a PC to create a server out of our PC. Okay, so if you're not understanding what I'm talking about, please read about the client server model, which is basically comes before web development. Okay, so we need this runtime environment for JavaScript to run on our PC. What is this runtime environment in most cases? Yeah, if you didn't guess it yet, it's Node.js. Node.js, please get the name right. Okay. So Node is not only an RT, it does have some other functionality, like you can have a database in it and stuff. There's a Udemy course on that. If you are interested, you can totally go check that out, or you can even search for it on YouTube, how to do database management with Node and all that stuff. Okay. Now, the next thing is you will want to store a lot of data in your backend. Okay, Like seriously, backend is essentially just a database and an algorithm related to that. Okay, that algorithm will also be written in Node.js only, but you'll use some other framework. We'll not go there. Okay. After this, you're basically looking at MERN stack or mean stack here. Okay, these are also jargons that people use, right? And R and A we are not going to cover right now because they will come here in the front end framework part. Mean is very common. ENM. Okay, this is MongoDB, which is a database management system. Okay, I'll just spell it out for you. MongoDB is a database management system. What kind of a database management system? It's a NoSQL, which means not only SQL database management system. It can do SQL if you want it to, like you can force it to do SQL for you, but it does not force you to do SQL. Okay, that's what it is. It's not only SQL, not no SQL. It doesn't mean I can't do SQL. It means I can do SQL, but I can do more than SQL also. Okay, it might be very confusing for you, so just go with the flow. Okay, E is express.js, express.js, which is actually not really a part of backend. Okay, this will come under this part. Okay, APIs, because express.js is used to create routes. Okay, so these routes are essentially your APIs. Sorry for struggling too much. I'm taking this way too far. Sorry, guys. But yeah, we'll get back. We'll get back. Right. So coming back to your roadmap, what you're supposed to learn after learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript is you're supposed to learn Node first, then learn Express for MERN stack. I'm saying, okay, if you're learning Python, then it's a different story. Then you have to learn Flask directly. If you're not wanting to deploy with a very heavy framework like Django, okay. Yeah, there also exists Java, by the way, which is like centuries old at this point. Nobody really cares about this, so we're ignoring it. Okay, you'll learn Node, then Express, then you'll learn MongoDB. These are not in strict order, but this is a strict order, and Mongo can go here or it can come here also. Okay, this is like a very separate tool. You can replace this Mongo with some other databases, right? For example, you can replace this with PostgreSQL. Okay. Mhm. There's also MySQL, which is very, very famous. You guys will probably be learning this in college as well, MySQL. Okay, then you have time series databases like InfluxDB. InfluxDB. Okay, InfluxDB is like crazy, crazy good. Trust me, you need to learn this. Okay, you need to learn time series databases. The days when people didn't touch time series databases are gone. You need to learn them. Okay, this is like very, very important stuff. This is a star, so please forgive me. Okay, the next thing. Okay, I think that's it. And API part, you are going to learn a framework for this, which is probably like Flask for Python. And just a second, you're probably looking at frameworks like Flask. Okay, you're looking at frameworks like Flask. You're looking at frameworks like Express. Okay, I'm using framework and library interchangeably, so don't mind. Okay, or there is another nice framework for exposing APIs, that is Nest.js. Okay, this is the technology that I worked on in my part-time job. So that is a very good technology. Okay, and in this process, in this whole process, you'll also want to learn something called TypeScript. Okay, TypeScript is essentially JavaScript but with types. It's like they created a problem that didn't exist and they solved it with their own solution. Okay, so JavaScript does not enforce types. You can change them whenever you want. So they don't want that to happen. That's why they have something called TypeScript, which essentially enforces types. That's it, nothing else. But there are some other things you need to do. Okay, now let's get back to the real roadmap, right? Sorry for wasting your time if stick around till this time in the video, congratulations. It's been already what? How long has it been? Where do I see that? Okay, anyways. Congratulations, you're doing a lot of progress. You're obviously going to start off by learning HTML, then you'll either learn CSS or JavaScript. That depends on you. You decide the order. Okay. This is your front end web development done, but without a framework. If you want to do a framework, you can choose from any of these two, React or Angular. Okay. If you're looking at very, very new startups that you want to crack, you can maybe look at, I don't know, what is that? There was a new framework that just came out. There are like multiple frameworks in the front end section. You can look at them. Okay. For VR and AR experiences, there is something called 3.js. Okay, this will generate VR experiences for you. Okay, all this is like the front end framework. You can actually skip this whole thing, okay, and just go on to learn back end development. That's totally fine. I also did the same thing. I learned this, I skipped to back end development. Okay. Now in back end development, you're looking at Node first, Node.js. Okay, learn Node.js first, then learn Express.js. Okay, Express.js. After this, learn MongoDB. I won't say MongoDB, I'll just say DBMS, right? Learn some DBMS, then go ahead and learn, I'll say, some API management tool and some testing tool like Postman. You'll understand what I'm talking about once you look at what Postman is and all that stuff. Okay, so this is essentially your uh, basic web development. You can add a few frameworks here. Okay, like this Next.js. Okay, Next.js. I think there are a few more. Okay, there's Nest.js, obviously. I know these because I worked in this. There are a ton of more frameworks that I did not work on and I don't remember. Okay, as I said, I'm just talking what comes to my mind and this is not organized, so it's very bad. Sorry for that. So this is your web development, but to support this web development, you have to do a lot of things. Okay, first one is Unix command line. Okay, Unix CLI. If you don't know Unix CLI, you're not considered to be a developer. Please learn Unix, Linux. Okay, at least Ubuntu. You don't need to do Arch Linux, but at least Ubuntu. Okay. After this, I want you guys to learn Docker. Okay, this is like a crazy good skill. Okay, once you learn Docker, it's like you've unlocked something in your arsenal. Okay, it's like you've just bought a 460 mm. Oh, sorry, no gang signs. Okay, Unix CLI, Docker. Next is GitHub. GitHub is like very, very important. I recommend you learn GitHub at this point, Unix CLI before this, okay, at this point, and Docker at this point when you've already completed frameworks, right? So this is the average roadmap. There can be a lot of changes, and I recommend you to do your own changes based on your interest. Okay. So wherever you want to go, based on that, you need to change this roadmap according to you. This is just an overview, not a complete roadmap, but this should give you an idea on what you should do. Okay. That's it, guys. Thank you. Let's meet again some other day. Bye.